All right, welcome to this week's client support webinar. My name is Bennett McDowell with TradersCoach.com, and today is August 28, 2024, wrapping up the summer here. Hope everybody's doing great. All right, let me go through the usual administrational items real quick here and get that done. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away in the, in the questions area. There should be a questions window that you can access, so go ahead and do that. All right, so let me just quickly go through this risks. I think we all understand that there's risks involved in trading. If we cover anything individual markets or something, just run any suggestions I have past your financial advisor to make sure they're suitable for you. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. And of course, we deal in a realm of probabilities in the markets. All right, those that are interested in Apex Trader funding, I wanted to bring this up today. We have another special going on that's good till September 17th. So if you're into day trading, check out my chat link I put in there, and you can take a look at that. I see we got a good turnout today, and I know a number of you do day trade the futures market. Nice thing about Apex is they give you free data, all right, and evaluation accounts, and the subscriptions are really low. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And let me see what else we got here. Okay, books. Art of Trading, my book on the far right there is completed, coming out soon. Second edition, about 500 pages, maybe a little more, but right around that ballpark. And of course, I got books on money management. And I will put a link, if you watch the recording, I will put a link below for access to the books, as well as to the Apex situation as well for the funding. All right, software, same thing. I'll put a link below. We now offer software subscriptions. So if the lifetime license is too much, you can do it on a month-to-month basis. And so we have that available as well. All right, let me come out of here. All right, let's, whoops. Let me just come out of this real quick and close that. All right, any questions that you have, go ahead and type them in. I see a couple coming in. Let me just see what we got. Can you explain the rules of the prop firm? I can explain the rules of the Apex prop firm because that's the one I use, so I can certainly go over that. All right, so just generally, and I'll show you a couple of things I want to show you with that. And if anybody has any specific questions on that, the big questions I get asked are, how much is it, and how does it work? In other words, they have rules that are a little different than if you were trading your own account. So you have to work within those rules. And basically the subscriptions are not expensive, and they are nothing more than what they call an evaluation account, which is a simulated account. And there's certain things you can do with the simulated account that you can't do once you become funded with them. One thing is you can basically just bet it all on an evaluation account and see if it works out for you. And if it does, you'll get funded, all right? That's not the preferred way of doing it, but some people do that. They just keep buying evaluation accounts until they get funded. And, interesting, okay. They wait for a specific trade idea, then they bet the farm type of thing. I don't do that. I don't recommend doing that. But there are, because, once you get funded, then you have to actually really trade well. And so if you kind of got lucky, and you get funded, you have to pay a funding fee, and why blow it if you're not quite ready for it? So I kind of tell everybody, enjoy the process and get good at it, and then you don't have to do things like that. Second thing on these funded accounts, even on the evaluation accounts, is you can actually, I'll call it dollar cost average in. In other words, if you have a trade, it goes against you, but you still want to go into that trade and lower your cost basis, you can do that once on the funded accounts. You can do that unlimited on the evaluation accounts. And so it's kind of easier if you're a person that likes to do that in the evaluation series, because then you can load up your trade size and still be right. Like if a pyramid gets hit and it pulls back and you want to add to that because it resurges, you could do that as many times as you want in the evaluation account, but only once in the funded account. The other big thing is called the trailing drawdown. And the trailing drawdown, I think the best way for me to describe that is using a whiteboard. So on the trailing drawdown situation on these funded accounts, let's say you have a trend up, okay? And it's going up here like this, and you go, let's just say you have a pullback, and then you go long here, okay? And then it pulls back here. You're not stopped out. Let's just say you don't get yourself stopped out. But let's say it turns back up, all right? And you get out here at a profit. So you actually make a profit on the trade. Well, there's something called a trailing drawdown. I'll put TD over here. And so for like a $50,000 account, you start out, I think, with a $2,500 drawdown that they allow you on a daily basis. So if you went in here, and let's say you went down, 10 points, and you just had like one full contract, all right, so that'd be 200 bucks it went down, and then you ended up making 200 bucks, all right? Your drawdown this is gonna go to 2,300, even though you made a $200 profit. And the reason for that is during the actual trade, it went down, and so they take the amount it went down to and subtract that from your entry position, okay? So that is something you have to keep in looking at during the day. Now, if you, in the same scenario, if you went up here like this, all right, and got in here, but it never pulled back and just kept going, all right, you would have absolutely no drawdown at all. That would stay at 2,500, okay? And if you got out here, you could take your $200 profit. So any movement against you when the position's open will draw down your trailing drawdown. So keep that in mind, okay? And the idea is that they reset it, all right, at the end of the trading period. So if you're profitable up here, but it went down during the day, it'll reset back up to the 2,500 because you were profitable technically. So you haven't had any technical drawdown at the end of the day. Hopefully that's clear. Now, so how do you use that? One of the things you got to be careful about is keeping an eye on that trailing drawdown. So if your trading model, so to speak, has some drawdown before it's profitable, usually, you can estimate what that average is. And then, plan for the worst case scenario based on your trading testing. And then don't let your trading drawdown go below a level that could jeopardize the account being closed. Okay, so that's how you use that. So for example, if I have, let's say I have a profitable day, but my trailing drawdown, goes to $1,000, okay, even though it's profitable, I'm gonna stop for that day and I'm gonna let it reset, all right, because it'll reset back up to the higher level based on my profitability for the day. But intraday, it will cap me at $1,000 in that trading period. Now, when we talk about trading periods, there are two trading periods in the prop firm community of Apex. Basically, they go from 6 p.m. all the way to 2 p.m. the next day, okay? And this is basically your overnight market. I'll put ON for overnight market. I trade this a lot. I start trading, I find it getting active enough around 10 o'clock at night, and I'll trade till maybe 1:30 or whenever I feel like I've had enough. All right, so that's one period. And then the next period, so it's 6 to 2, all right? And then it resets again at 6, okay? So that's kind of how it works. So if I am trading, let's say in the evening here, all right, and in the early morning, and my drawdown gets to a critical level where I won't let it draw down anymore, then I'll wait and pick it up again in the evening when they reset it, okay? So you get two basically trading possibilities during the day. And when I say, I start at 10 p.m., that's, my time here over in Arizona. So keep that in mind. Your times will be local for you. So that's kind of a big rule that you have to pay attention to. and that's called your trailing drawdown. And the Apex accounts, there's different trailing drawdowns. For example, 50,000, like I said, the trailing drawdown is 2,500. All right, I think the 100,000 is, I'm going to say 3,000, I think. And the 250K, I know for sure, which is one I like, that is 6K. All right, then they have 150, which I want to think is 4K or something like that. Okay, so it's that kind of thing. So every account subscription has a different one. Now, for example, in the $50,000 account, which is kind of one of the most popular one people use, is that your drawdown is 2,500, but your goal for this to get funded is 3,000. And your drawdown can be 2,500. So it's almost the same as the goal. So in other words, if you start out with 50,000 and take it to 53,000, you get funded. Now there is a fee to change it over. You know, this is how they make their money. Change it over to get into a funded account. And I think they have a special going on right now where it's $80 extra. Otherwise, it's like 160 bucks. That's a one-time fee, or you can do it monthly, but the monthly fee is like 100 bucks, and it's not worth doing it. So it's best to just do it lifetime, and then try not to blow the account out. All right, so that's kind of where that is. But if you look at the ratio of the drawdown versus that, that's pretty good. Now, take the 250 account, for example. All right, the 250 account has a goal of 265. So you got to get $15,000 before they'll fund you. Okay, so that's a 15K. I kind of did that backwards. 15K, and the amount that you can experience during the drawdown is 6K, 6,000. Okay, so that's the drawdown. I'll put put DD, drawdown. How's that? All right, so that's kind of the deal with that. Now, a couple things you should take away from that right away. Why would anybody get a 250K account? Well, if your trading approach requires you to experience some drawdown, then you're going to need that. So if you're a trend trader, intraday trend trader, and you go long, all right, you're not really scalping the market in terms of the way normal scalpers do it, where they get in quick, get in out, or they take their loss real quick and get back. So your numbers are not going to move that much in terms of your drawdown period. But when you're trend trading and you let a trade go, it will go up, it will pull back, it will go up. So the idea is you need to have enough room for it to breathe, and that's what these larger account sizes do. Now, one of the things you also need to look at is the drawdown here compared to the profit needed here. So this is almost double, 2 times, okay? So you need to be basically profitable, all right? A great deal more than it would take from 2,500. It's almost a 1-to-1 here, okay? So you get a little bit more of a break on the lower account sizes because the goals are closer to the amount of drawdown. So that's something, depending on your trading style, that you can factor in as well. All right, so it all depends on how you do it. But that's I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If there's anything else I left out, let me know. But that's kind of the skinny on the prop firm situation. And you know, the nice thing, but it is the nice thing. If you're, you know, in an evaluation account and you get busted, okay? In other words, something goes wrong or you don't get out when you're supposed to and the account gets, you go down past the 2,500, the account's closed. Now you can reset the account for a fee, of course, all right? Or let it just renew on its own the next monthly renewal date. So either or, the account will come back unless you cancel it or do something like that. So you can reset it right away if you want to keep going right away, or you can wait for the subscription to renew automatically. All right, I think it's basically what I suggest doing is practice in the regular, like NinjaTrader Simulator or whatever simulator you want to, come up with a trading approach that seems to be working pretty good, and then go ahead and trade that on the evaluation account and you'll take it seriously because now you'll have some skin in the game, so to speak, to get the account from being busted and to reach the goal, right? So you can keep doing that, and in doing that, of course, you'll learn a lot about what maybe is working and is not working as good as you thought. You'll make tweaks to it, and you might blow out. I've blown out a few accounts while I was figuring out some of this stuff. Trying to stay within, my trading style is great for a fully funded account, but when I start working in the prop accounts, I have to massage some things here in order to stay within those trailing drawdown periods. So I come up with my own kind of methodology to do that, and it seems to be working really well. So you're going to have to figure that out, what works best for you. But I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. All right, they give you free data for the intraday account. If you have a job and you want to do this at night, you got the overseas markets, so they'll keep you good and busy. All right, so you can definitely get going with that. And let's see what else I can tell you. So if you're interested in day trading but don't want to risk your own money, but really buckle down and kind of try to figure it out, all right, this is a great way to go. All right. Is it as good as trading with your own money? Probably not, because of the extra parameters that they have, but it will make you a better trader. If you can figure out the winning system within these parameters, all right, then you've got it, okay, basically. And I'm going to be having a tutorial here in the, I keep saying, I think it's in November. We still got to figure out the dates, but I'm going to go over and show you how I do it in that tutorial as well. And we'll trade live so I can show you, basically what I do on that. But in any case, any other questions on this? This may not apply to everybody. One thing I will tell you, even if you're a position trader and you're trying to figure out stuff, if you got one of these accounts with free data, it would definitely decrease your learning curve in terms of time. Because if you trade these short time frames, you'll be much more active than trading a daily time frame. All right, so keep that in mind. But I just find them a lot of fun. I find it great. And if you like a challenge, there you have it. All right, any other questions on that? Now, if you have any questions on anything, let me know now, okay? And if I didn't answer that question good enough, David, let me know, because you were the one that asked on that prop firm stuff. All right, I've got silver up here in front of us. So my target for silver, all right, short term, it should get there between 30 and 33. That's a wave 5 target zone in agreement with the PTF. So I think we're going to get up there pretty quick. And we're at 2670 right now, 2629. So there's a little bit of room left, not much, okay? But hopefully you got into this a little bit earlier. But I think it's looking pretty good and should reach that, I would think, fairly soon at this point. What else can we look at here? NVIDIA came out, and I think the NVIDIA earnings were good, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those were actually pretty good. A lot of jitters as people were waiting for that. But notice we have a green PTF on the daily and one on the weekly, so we were still kind of thinking this would go higher. And I think maybe a little pullback. I mean, you had a little run up, so you may get a little pullback, but it should go higher. So I think the earnings are kind of in sync with the technicals here. So I think that looks pretty good. As I said, overall in the markets, I expect another high on the Dow overall and all the indexes. I don't think we're at the top of the bubble, so to speak. I will be doing, if you're a More subscriber, you know exactly what's going on. I will be doing a free market update in September, the first Wednesday in September, so that's right around the corner. So make sure, that's on YouTube, so make sure you tune in for that if you're interested. But I think basically a bear market is looming out there, I think towards the end of the year into 2025. But I think in terms of when, hard to say exactly. We're in the target, the upper target now, but we could extend well into the election period, especially if they lower rates, which I think they're going to do in September. So I would anticipate probably some more highs on the markets coming up. And then after the election, all bets could be off. So we'll see. Now, when the bear market, which I do think is coming, when that does happen, how bad is it going to be? Pretty bad. Probably a good 50 to 60% drop in most of the assets, including real estate. So we'll see. All right. Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin has been struggling a little bit. It certainly has not been as good as gold to park your money in, which I found kind of interesting. I kind of was thinking Bitcoin would be a good alternative to gold, but gold is doing much better than Bitcoin. I do think there's more highs in Bitcoin coming at the end of the year here. So I'm pretty bullish on Bitcoin. But one of the couple things here, I think it will top probably when the market tops. And I was hoping Bitcoin would have more of an inverse relationship to the equities market. But so far, it seems to be more of a play, more following the equities market than I kind of thought it would, to be honest with you. So kind of keeping an eye on that. Target is around 100 on that, 100,000 on Bitcoin, at least 80. I think that our target's around 80,000 to 100. I'll cover that in September as well. All right, so let me just see if there's any other questions. I don't see anything else. Does anybody have anything for me? Anybody in the video right now? Okay, cool, cool. Oh, and don't forget Stock Analysis Friday on Fridays, where I actually go over stocks, okay, that you want me to look at. So that's another thing that we do on YouTube, which is kind of cool. All right, everybody getting the kids ready for school. My two kids just went. They're off to college, so we got empty nest over here. Kind of liking it, actually. But that time of year again, right? All right, anybody else? Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, we can call it quits and pick it up next week. I'll give you a minute in case you have a question or something you want to type into the questions window. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and call it quits today. All right. So we covered a little bit about the prop firms and all their requirements. And I think that's, again, it's something I think is pretty cool, especially if you're thinking about day trading. It's a great way to go because you don't have to risk your own money. All right. And even if you have money, it's still a good way to go because you get to keep 90% of your profits once you reach the threshold gold on the funded accounts. So it's a pretty good deal. And then you can trade multiple accounts with something called a copier. In other words, if you can have up to 20 accounts on Apex. I didn't cover this, I probably should. So you can have 20 accounts on Apex, all right? So let's say, you're really scalping and you really are, conservative. And let's say you pull out $150 on one account. Well, if you multiply that times 20 accounts, that's $3,000 that you made in one day just by making $150 on one account, because you can copy those accounts. Now, what you would do is basically you start off with a couple of valuation accounts. Once you get those funded, you add a couple more valuation accounts. So it's going to take a little time, but once you get up there to 10 or more evaluation accounts, you can do really well with this. There are people, pulling out $30,000 a month with 20 of these accounts by only making a couple $100 a day. All right. They have losing days, but overall, all right, they're pulling out an average of 100, 150 bucks a day, even after the losing days times 20. You can see how that can add up. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. That's another thing that people kind of like about prop accounts, especially Apex, because they allow you to do those copy things. And why do they do it? Because they make money. All right. Every evaluation account they make money on a monthly basis. And when you get funded, they make money on a one-time fee or again on a monthly basis. All right. So, they've got it pretty well figured out. All right. So that is it for today. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks for coming today. Good turnout today. Appreciate that. All right, surprised there's not that many questions, but okay. Actually, no questions, I guess, mean everything is going good, so that's a good thing. But in any case, if you have any questions, write them down and bring them back next week. All right, so everybody have a great week. September is around the clock now. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.